India have booked their place in the semifinals of the ODI World Cup as the men in blue are thrashing opponents left, right, and centre. While Rohit Sharma's men looked ruthless with their approach, a certain section of fans is worried on whether the Indian team could fumble at the wrong stage. With the semifinals fast approaching, the fear is, will there be a repeat of 2019 and 2022 World Cups where India faced elimination despite dominating the early stage? So to discuss more, we have the very talented and charismatic Gautam Sodhi, who joins me, Aditya Pimpale, for this latest edition of World Cup podcast. So welcome Gautam, and hope everything is fine with the Indian team. They are winning left, right, centre. The way that they are approaching the World Cup, it looks like they are a force to reckon with and a team to beat. But are you worried as an Indian fan?
Well, I think certainly to begin with, Indian team is a team to beat in this tournament. The way they are performing, the way they have peaked from the beginning, the way they are peaking as the fag end of this tournament approaches, it makes you happy at one end that they are possibly hands down the best team in the tournament. But then again, on the other side, you're always worried about those bad 45 minutes of play that can cause an Indian team the same fate they suffered in 2019 World Cup, and as you mentioned, in the 2022 as well, where despite we dominating every inch, every second in the initial stages, we fumbled in the end. So I would be lying if I say I'm not worried about it, but I'm quite hopeful that Indian team can bury those things in the past and can move ahead with this unbeaten streak.
Well, you mentioned about those bad 45 minutes back in 2019. Luck was not in our favor anyways. I think the worst 45 minutes of this World Cup have to be the one against Australia at the start when we were again down to 5-3. I remember against Australia in Chennai. So apart from that, the Indian team has looked ruthless. Mohammad Shami, he has chipped in with some valuable wickets as well. Hardik Pandya, he got injured. Shami comes in, a blessing in disguise. Tell us something about Shami and the team. This has been looking ruthless. Do we actually think that it is the best team in the World Cup?
This clearly is the best team in the World Cup, and given how Shami has performed in the 4 matches so far, he has picked 16 wickets, 2 5-wicket haul, 1 4-wicket haul, and stats even say that it hasn't been 2 overs straight that he doesn't pick up a wicket. So that clearly tells you the picture that how good he has been, and what surprises everyone and literally everyone, that how for initial few games was he benched and Indian team thought of playing with a template that they were not even familiar with. So I think Hardik Pandya's injury came as a blessing in disguise for India, and this now turns out to be the more ruthless, a better version of how an 11 should look like. And with how our bowling unit is going ahead, I'll be very honest with you, Aditya, it doesn't look like that they'll suffer any bad day. Other team really has to play out of their skin to beat this Indian team, and we all await that who would be those 2 teams and who would be making the semis, as India looks certain to at least top the chart, and then we are likely to face the number 3 or the number 4 side. So it's still a long fight for the top 4, and let's see who we end up with.
Gautam, 12 months ago we were discussing about the same things, T20 World Cup, that the Indian team looks ruthless, they can beat any team in the world. But there were fans, who were saying that this team should lose at least 1 match in the league stage. The flaws will be there, they would just work on those flaws. Are you of the opinion that you need a bad game in the league stage, or are you of the opinion dominate it and then, somehow just have that bad 45 minutes? So losing a match, would that have been a blessing in disguise for the Indian team?
Well, given how the Australian team of 2003 and 2007 maintained the winning streak and they won all throughout the tournament, lifted the World Cup, it clearly shows that any other team in this world can also do that. And with how this Indian team is going ahead, they are no shy of delivering the same. But then back again, you cannot discount any other team that would be in the semis. Australia is literally picking at the right time. They are beating everyone, and they've gotten all their players back. Travis Head's inclusion has turned fortunes for them. I am not discounting South Africa again. If somehow we manage to face them in the semi-finals, come what may, do not expect the same performance from them. You must have had a great day at the Eden Gardens, but it's not going to be the same when you come up against them in the knockout games. It is very simple. With every team, when they know that it is not a knockout game, they can really go, hands down against an opposition. But in the game where if you lose, you're out of the tournament, teams tend to play a bit conservative cricket, and we won't be surprised if India takes that defensive mode and probably try and cover all bases and see that we have to play right for good 100 overs to ensure we are going through. It's going to be a tough day for Indian fans in the World Cup semifinals, but let's hope we can defy the past and win this time.
Okay, you are saying about defying the past. What about this? If India, they are of course in the semifinals. By the way, just a reminder to our fans: if India do end up playing Pakistan in the semifinals, that contest will take place at the Eden Gardens. And Gautam has been covering a wide range of copies on our WION website as well, where you can read all of those Gautam stuffs. He has been exuberant with what he has been doing. A great writer as well. But apart from that, if India do play up against someone else like South Africa or Australia, they of course will play them at the Wankhede Stadium because of those BCCI and ICC connections that they had earlier discussions. But Gautam, as a fan, what would be the best thing, playing Pakistan or playing someone else? Wankhede and Eden Gardens, total different situations as well. So what is your take? Should India play? Whom should India play? They don't have it in their hands, by the way.
See, if you're talking from the fans' perspective, nothing tops India-Pakistan. That is the mother of all rivalries. But then again, if you look out for a competitive cricket, if you look out for a contest where two teams are on the top of their game and they're going neck to neck against each other, then I think other teams have done really, really well. They have been consistent. So I'm expecting, either of New Zealand, Australia, and or maybe Afghanistan. You never know. This could be the turning point of the World Cup. Afghanistan had scored good 280, 290 against Australia in the first innings, and we really don't know how far can this go. But if Afghanistan beats Australia, Afghanistan would have their, I think, fourth or fifth to win. That would really push their case for a semi-final berth. But I think it should be a good contest, and I really want an opposition against which the fans enjoy the contest. The Indian team play out of their skin. It is very important for them to understand that this is a knockout game, and one small mistake can cost them the World Cup. They wouldn't really want that, and for that, a good contest for the fans, for the players itself, would be a great sight for world cricket.
Okay, that is interesting. By the way, Afghanistan actually in the pole position to make it to the semifinals. If they win their last two matches, New Zealand winning against Sri Lanka, Pakistan winning against England makes no sense, because they will go on 12 points anyways, and Pakistan and New Zealand can manage only maximum of 10 points. So if Afghanistan do win, they are going to play in the semifinals and will probably end up playing India. Okay, Gautam, another big question, we are in the semifinals, but which link do you think is still the weakest? Where can this Indian team improve? They have been ruthless, South African team that has been scoring runs for fun was being bowled out for 83. Where do you think this team still has some weak link? Is Shreyas Iyer a weak link, or is Surya Kumar Yadav? Because I think those are the two players who are yet to showcase, although Shreyas has got a couple of 50s, but who do you think is still the weak link in this team?
For that, India needs to lose. That is why Mahendra Singh Dhoni had quoted long time back that it would be okay for a team to lose in the group stage. So at least if any deficiencies are there, they're exposed for the team and they can iron out those and prepare well for the knockout games. I remember the 2015 campaign. We had lost a tri-series against Australia and England in the lead up to the World Cup. We literally won every match in that campaign leading to the semi-finals. We lost to the host Australia that eventually won the World Cup. Never discount the Aussies. Come what may, they are coming for the title. They are 5-time winners for something. So, for India to even find out what is their problem, they better either suffer something poor against Netherlands, which is an unlikeliness, but then I really hope that it doesn't get exposed. And I don't know. That's a very wise question. That's a very nice question also, that what is India's issues going ahead. There could be some, and I hope it doesn't fall on the wrong day, that 1.3 billion people would show up on social media trying to,
not another 5 for 3.
Not another 5. No one would ever want another 5 for 3. And for that, I think our batters have been in extremely, extremely good form. I hope whatever is happening, however it is happening, it must follow the same path, reach us, help us win the title, and then probably we'll see in the next series what problems we had, but not right now.
Well, you mentioned about the problems. We had flurry of problems after the 2011 World Cup. We lost 4-0 against England and Australia away from home. So there were plenty of problems. Gautam, I won't stretch you much. Just a quick fire question. No prize for guessing, by the way. Who is winning the Sunday game, by the way?
The Sunday game between India and Netherlands? It should be India, but if Netherlands win, then that would be a bigger win for India.
Okay, what about this bet? If Netherlands beat India, you're giving me a party. Maybe. So Gautam is going to give a party. And what about the semifinals, by the way? The final question. India, do you see them making it to the finals?
100% yes. I'll be very honest with you. I think the only issue we would have would be against Australia. We should really hope that we are not in a position to face Australia in the semis, because Australia plays like a beast. They are winners and they have done it in the past. They are ruthless sports people and they would do anything to win. So never let go of the Aussies and just hope that you don't play them in the semis. And if India plays anyone at the Wankhede Stadium, it's going to be a good contest. Should not be Aussies. If we don't play Aussies, we are definitely going into the finals, and hope we don't play the Aussies in the finals. Otherwise, it would be a different end to a story.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this was Gautam Sodhi giving his wild and bold prediction that the Indian team is, of course, going to win the World Cup and is also going to dominate the world of cricket. And that is it for this edition of WION Podcast. I am Aditya Pimpale, who says goodbye, and do join us on our YouTube, Facebook, and X handles as well. And do follow us as well. For now, goodbye and thanks for joining.